Welcome to the final edition of Inside Titan Sports for the 2015-2016 school year. I'm Jeff Radcliffe, and this final show will serve as a preview to the National Golf Tournament that is taking place next week at Duran and Vieira. That's going to be the 17th through the 20th, so a Tuesday through a Friday. So this will serve as our golf preview, and of course, our golf legend. We are contractually obligated to call Jamie Howell, the head coach. Multiple coach of the year. He is with us, and of course, one of your star performers, Kerry Sweeney, the former Holy Trinity golfer and state champion. Welcome, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Let's just look back first before we can look ahead. To get to this point, to qualify for states, you had to do well at districts in Coleman, Alabama a couple of weeks ago. How did that go?
Went well. We won the district tournament. Sixth time in the last 9 years, the guys brought a trophy home from districts. So it went very well up there.
Kerry Sweeney, what about your performance there? How did you guys feel as a team?
Yeah, everything as a team went really well. Some of the guys didn't finish well, and it was tough because a lot of us were hitting the ball well, and some of the things just didn't go our way. But yet again, we came out with a W, which is what matters, and we got the job done, which is huge. So getting the job done was big, and even though we didn't perform well, it shows us that we're getting better and we can get the job done.
From that point to now, what has been the focus? Obviously, it's looking ahead at what is ahead at Duran, but how have you managed the team at this point?
Tried to keep the status quo. We've had a schedule all year long. The guys probably get sick of my schedules. But when we finished up in Coleman, they only had 1 week prior to final exams. I don't touch them during final exam week. They have enough on their plate without worrying about golf. And now we have a week off before nationals. We're practicing the way we did all year. We were Duran yesterday morning at 6:15. We were there this morning at 6:15. Heck, last night I yelled at all of them just so they made sure that I'm still doing my same stuff. Trying to keep it the same. Just trying to keep everything status quo as we go forward, recognize what we need to do to get better, and go about our business.
How hungry have you guys been? We talked to you earlier on in the season last fall. How you finished last year is really what motivated you guys. And I know it's not something you would ever want to look back and think, but how has that worked out in your favor as far as that motivation?
Yeah, looking back at it, it's definitely made me more motivated to go out there and try to win one. But yet again, you can't look at the past. We have 5 guys that are on this team, and all of them can play. And as awesome as it sounds to go out and try to think you can win it, we kind of have to stay in the moment, do our thing, do our job today, and get the job done. So yes, it is motivating to go out there and know that Duran is right in our backyard almost. So for us to know that that's right around the corner, we still have to focus on today and getting the job done to prepare.
We were talking before we actually started taping, and Coach Howell couldn't quite think of the last time that the Nationals were in the state of Florida. Couldn't figure that out, and this could be a very big first.
Did some research and did not see the last time we hosted in Florida anywhere. So maybe it is the first time it's come to Florida. I have to believe years and years ago, back in the 60s and 70s, when the tournament was being held, sooner or later it got here. But my recollection, my research didn't see it, so looking forward to bringing everybody to Florida.
Yeah, nobody wrote about it, so it didn't really exist. Is there? I know it's not technically the home course, but is there a home course advantage knowing how you're going to have to play, how the surfaces are in Florida?
I think Coach would agree with this, and we all notice that we definitely know a lot more than all the teams coming in. So it gives us the advantage that we know where we can miss it. But yet again, we still have to go out there and perform and get the job done. And as awesome as it is to be out there and have it right there and know where it is, yet again, teams are going to come here and they're going to compete. So we still have to keep our minds sharp, our game sharp, and do everything in our power to get the job done and go out there and play hard.
Where are the minds right now, do you think? The challenge of a golf coach is getting everybody to peak. And, as we talked before, you don't like peaking at the right time. You don't like that terminology.
No, let's just keep getting better. We're always after that. I think their mindset's a little bit of, thank goodness finals are over. We've got a week to get ready. And the reality of it is, I think if you polled the guys, everybody would like to start tomorrow if we could. So let's be patient, go about our business. Like I said, keep to the schedule, and we've done a good job with that. I think we're in a good spot right now.
Let's talk a little bit about pressure. When you were a high school golfer at Holy Trinity, I remember covering you, having a camera on you. You ended up winning a state title there. Is that something you welcome? Because there's going to be a few more eyes here at this tournament.
Not really. I mean, it's just something it's cool to see. But yet again, I'm out here to do my job and do what I do. I'm out on the golf course, and I like to play 18 holes of golf. And the fact that there's cameras and there's television, and whatever it may be, and people out there watching, it's a cool thing to have. But yet again, I'm out there to do my job, and that's play some good golf and do the best that I can, and go try to win a tournament.
Yeah, golf is a game of precision and laser-like focus, right? And then that's what you look for when you're trying to recruit a guy like Kerry, right?
A little bit of that, attention to detail.
Yep.
And you need more than just talent. There's enough talent out there. You need the will to get better. If they're willing to get better, then the sky's the limit. Everybody wants to, but very few are willing to take the steps to get there.
Talk about the Titans as a team. I mean, you're just one cog in the wheel, and that's certainly the way you like to look at it. But talk about how this team has performed, and you had that long trip to Alabama to bond even more. Where is this team right now mentally?
Yeah, we got 4 players that are really willing to compete, and it's been tough this spring because we've been so close to some good tournaments that we missed by a shot on getting a tie for a playoff, or we fall by 2 shots, or whatever it is. We don't play well that second round, so it drops us back. But yet again, coming back from Alabama, we did really well to go out there and get the job done. So it's good to know that I got 4 good players behind my back. And if you want to say I'm a leader, that's fine. But I look at them as people that push me to get better, and they're doing their job to go out there and perform and play hard, and that's what motivates me. So I got 4 good guys that are on my team and going to go out there and compete, and we're ready. We're really excited.
Jamie, talk about that team aspect a little bit in the sense that there's been a lot of second places, I think, here during the season. Certainly that kind of leads to some motivation. But as far as mindset, talk about the team as a whole.
We had 3 wins, 3 seconds, and 3 thirds this year. If you just take a look at it from that angle, we were never out of the top 3 the whole year. And you're in the thick of the hunt every single tournament. You're right there. Even when we finished third a time or two and the deficit was too great to make up, we were still right there competing. And I believe the guys get a taste of that. I tell them all the time, few things feel as good as getting back in the van with somebody else's trophy and coming home. That's a marvelous feeling. And then, believe it or not, it's actually good to get humbled. When you finish second by a shot or 2, or you come up a little bit short, there's probably some pretty good medicine in that it's going to make you go work a little bit more, because, again, every single shot counts, and you can't fritter them away. There's too many good teams out there that are going to bounce if you get sloppy.
A 215 for you in Alabama to finish second overall, but again, that leaves that little bit of space for improvement. How do you think this is going to shape up for you? Do you feel you are already in it at the right spot right now?
I don't really like to look at myself like that, and I don't like to single myself out. But yeah, I'm hitting the ball well, and I think everything's going to come together. But yet again, I'm looking to go out there with my team and hopefully contribute the best I can, and have them behind my back to contribute and go out there as a team and win something. It's very special, not only for Coach, but for the program and the college and everything that they've done for us.
Kerry does not like to talk about himself. That's something we've learned on a couple of occasions here. But this young man is committed to Ole Miss. He's also a semifinalist for the Jack Nicklaus Award. I'm going to have you talk about what Kerry's meant the last 2 years.
Well, Kerry's led by example the whole way. When he walks in the room or on the course, there's no mistaking he's there, and yet at the same time his actions have spoken far beyond his words. He's set a terrific standard. Ole Miss is getting a terrific young man, and that's incredibly important to me because it speaks more about the character of the man than just the ability to hit a golf ball. And he goes there with the whole package, and they'll do well by him as much as he'll do well by them.
Jamie, stick around. Kerry, best of luck. It's been
Thank
a pleasure.
Appreciate it.
Good luck this weekend and then also going forward. We will continue this golf preview of the national tournament. When we come back, we'll have Corey Herman sitting right next to me. And, of course, Jamie Howell will stay put right here on Inside Titan Sports.
This is where we're building the future. This is where we meet the challenge, where leaders emerge and careers take flight. This is where you discover new opportunities. Choose to stand where excellence lives, where titans rise. Eastern Florida State College.
Welcome back to Inside Titan Sports. I'm Jeff Radcliffe, and we continue our NJCAA Division I Men's Golf Tournament, the national tournament preview right now, as we welcome in Corey Herman, one of the fabulous sophomores for Coach Howell here. Welcome. First time on the show,
Yes, first time here.
on the last show of the year. Let's talk a little bit, first of all, about Corey, and he's really come on strong very late.
Literally, last year, he wasn't in the top 5, and we were down to the last month, and he went out and won the 5th spot, and accompanied us to Kansas and contributed in a big way. And he's been a solid performer for us all of this year. He's had a good year. I'm sure he would tell you he could have done better, but he's been in every single tournament and competed the whole time. So, culmination of a terrific 2-year career for him.
finished 5th in Alabama, right? So really, really strong going into this championship. When we already talked about, you don't want to talk about peaking, but you have to feel good about where the game is right now.
Right. Yeah. Everybody's got to feel good going into nationals. We had a good end to the spring. We really did. Had a couple get away from us, but we played well. We played well all the way through. Always in the competition, like Coach said. We're always in the thick of it, and that's just something you got to take on a nationals. Not too many expectations. Just know that you're there for the reason.
Well, Coach, now let's talk just a little bit about how this national tournament sets up. How many teams overall, and how many teams from the district, and how do the 4 days shape up?
There's 21 teams altogether will be here next week. Our district, District 4, is represented very well. We have 6 teams competing. 5 qualified through our district championship, and 1 got an at-large bid. Top 3 teams are paired together Tuesday and Wednesday, 4, 5, and 6, and so on down the line. Repair by scores for the last 2 days, and come Friday afternoon, we'll crown a national champion.
Corey, who has the target on them? What's a team, maybe a couple of teams you can identify that you guys have to play well against?
There's always a couple teams. You know, we get to see all the teams at preview, so we get to see who's going to be playing well on the course, and we can't really worry too much about them. You know, I feel like the target's on our back as much as it is on theirs. It's nothing we can really worry about. I would definitely say, you know, the defending national champ Indian Hills is on our mind after only losing to 3 last year, but I feel like the target's on our back just as much as theirs, so it's not really worrying.
As far as the team golf goes, is there targeting, I guess, when you're talking about looking at certain teams, or is it I've got to just worry about what these 5 guys are doing?
If you think of it this way, if nobody showed up and you sent your team out there, you know, you have 5 people competing, you're going to count the low 4 scores. If 21 teams are there, you send 5 out and you still count your low 4 scores. You know, your biggest competition comes from within and the ability to cope with the golf course. If you start worrying about what the other team is doing, you're going to get distracted. Normally it's just going to take you out of your routine and out of your game, and you can't fall for that. And too often it happens, but no, we have to take care of our business. You know, we're going to be playing Duran Golf Club next week, not against the Indian Hills or Midlands of the world. That'll shake itself out.
Corey, from right down the road, a former Harmony Longhorn. You're really coming really close. Why, first of all, come to Eastern Florida State College? It certainly worked out as you're going to be moving on to Coastal Carolina. But how has it worked out the last couple of years? Why come here?
It worked out great for me. I started playing golf late in high school, last 2 years of high school, so Coach gave me a great opportunity to come here. Came to a great program that I didn't know we were as competitive as we are. Yeah. You know, it was a really good surprise to come to a program that was this competitive. And I've learned so much from Coach Howell, from my teammates and everything. And these have been 2 of probably the best years I can take into the future for sure.
First couple of days, everybody's going to be paired, they're seated, that sort of thing, correct? And then after that, it's a typical, on the Thursday, Friday, you're going to have the leaders kind of paired. What do you look at those first 2 days? How important to get everybody on the front foot and swinging well those first 2 to shape up for the last?
If you recall, we talked about this before we went to Coleman. You know, I'm a big fan, love to get off to a good start. I'm a big fan, get the tee and let somebody chase you. And then you have to finish it. You know, and this is going to be a marathon. All of our tournaments this year were 54 holes, a couple were 36. So we have an extra round in there. We have a 4th round. The bulk of our qualifying this year, we played 72 holes trying to emulate that 4th round. So you'd like to start well. And the reality of it is you could have a poor or an off round and still compete. It's almost like it gives you a little bit of a buffer, but you don't go into it thinking that way. It's like, all right, from that very first shot on Tuesday morning to that last putt Friday afternoon, we look to be there.
4 rounds, how do you approach? Is it want to get to a good start, or is it a slow build for you? How does it work for you?
You definitely want to get off to a good start. Like you said, taking the tee is important because the first shot means it counts the same as the last shot. Every shot counts the same, and you know when you have close calls and you end tournaments 1 shot ahead or 1 shot back, you realize just how much 1 shot really matters. So there's no difference in any round, any shot out there.
I would expect you're very familiar with the course, but the pin placements, the course is going to play differently each day somewhat, depending we have precipitation, wind, whatever. It is designed to get harder each day, correct?
Up to a point. The hole locations, traditionally what you do is you have 6 that are very accessible, you have 6 moderate, and 6 pretty difficult ones. The weather's everything. If it gets windy, Duran can play really difficult. If it's not that windy and you have, you know, literally 100 of the best college players in the country, scoring will be pretty good. You know, the golf course is in good shape. The greens are going to be very good. And if you have good greens to putt on and not a whole lot of wind, scores are going to come down. If you have really good greens and you have a lot of wind, doesn't matter, scores are going up. So there's a little bit of an adapting and adjustment going on.
Corey, you've been playing in golf for Florida for quite a while now. Do you prefer a morning tee time, or you like that afternoon? Where does it play best to your game and really to your team's game?
A morning tee time is always good. You know, the weather could be a little bit better. Wind's down usually in Florida. The wind will usually pick up closer to the afternoon, so you're going to be looking for your morning rounds to be your better rounds. Almost, you want to capitalize on those better because you're going to have better conditions. But you know, we're so used to playing in the wind here. It could be a positive for us too, playing in the wind. That's not a problem for us either.
Could that be a problem to the teams that don't have this coastal wind that are coming in?
It's a tough adjustment. You know, a 5-iron in Florida is the same as a 5-iron in Kansas or in Iowa. But if you have to play it in 20-mile-an-hour wind and you're playing off Bermuda grass, that can change things absolutely.
Corey, tell me about just the season overall. What happened? A lot of second-place finishes. Has that made you guys more hungry to finish this off? And will it make it more like a storybook finish if it all works out?
As much as everybody's putting all that pressure on us for the home court advantage type of deal, pressure is pressure that you put on yourself. It's not going to be there for us, I don't think. The season went really well. You know, like Coach said, we didn't finish outside the top 3 all season, which is awesome. Only three wins. You know, we could have had a lot more, but still 3 wins in college golf. That's a pretty good season. There's nothing to complain with that.
What was, in your mind, the best performance? I know you went down and faced a bunch of Division I schools down in Miami. Was that one of the where you really knew, hey, if this team is? You probably knew this team was special all along, but is that where we're going to be okay?
Miami was a big tournament for us because we finished so well, but I think every one of them would point to Alabama in November. You know, we went up there with a good team, had an issue with food poisoning, and we lost Brad Bawden, couldn't play the first round, so we only played with 4 players. And at the end of day 1, we're leading by 2 shots, playing in 50-degree weather, it's raining. 3 other guys, you know, just sick beyond sick. That evening, you know, tried to eat some dinner, a couple guys did, you know, and then Tuesday we come back and play. Brad plays, shoots 71, and I think we won going away there, you know, and it was a marvelous statement that take a look at what you're capable of doing. You don't have to be perfectly healthy. Your game doesn't have to be firing on all cylinders. Find a way. Find a way. That was a marvelous statement the guys made. I looked at that as a high point for the year. That was terrific.
Corey, talk about this team in general. What does it mean to you to have this close-knit group of guys? I'm sure it was a nice, a long ride over to Alabama, but I'm sure very fun and very productive as far as getting to know one another.
Yeah, the chemistry on this team is awesome. You know, I've got to spend 2 years with both the sophomores, 2 of the best friends I've had in a while. And, you know, it's kind of sad I only get 1 year with the freshmen, but 1 year has been a great year with them. You know, the chemistry's great. And with a team game like this, you know, you got to have a lot of trust. And it's nice that you got guys that got your back that you trust in and they're good friends. And, you know, I'm going to miss it for sure.
Last question of this segment. What kind of golfer is Coastal Carolina getting in Corey?
They're getting one that has a lot of upside. As Corey mentioned, you know, he started golf maybe a little later than some. And one of the things that I thought was how competitive he was in other arenas. I think it was baseball was his first love, and I believe that played well into his golf. Again, he's got a long way to go with golf. We'll never get to see his best golf here. We'll get to see a glimpse of it, but all he's going to do is get better with his work ethic, with, you know, his attention to detail. Coastal's getting a good one.
Corey, appreciate it.
Right.
Best of luck at Coastal Carolina, and
Thank
more
you.
importantly, best of luck here next week. Stick around. We're going to bring in the rest of the team in our final segment. It will be an Inside Titan Sports first as we just get as many people on this set as we possibly can. That is coming up next as Inside Titan Sports rolls to the exciting finish.
Eastern Florida State College. This is where you discover new opportunities, where you pursue your dreams, and careers take flight. Apply now for new bachelor and associate degree programs in business, healthcare, computer technology, and other growing fields. Eastern Florida, where Titans rise. Apply today.
Welcome back to Inside Titan Sports, our final segment of the show for this year. It has come down to this, and what better way as we continue our National Golf Tournament preview with Jamie Howell. We've brought in the entire, at least the starting five, if you will, of this golf team. We bring back Corey and Kerry as well, but introduce everybody else we have behind us.
Behind me from right to left, Tyler Bennett, a freshman from over in St. Cloud, Michael Keemont from Orlando, Brad Bawden coming to us from Essex, England.
Tyler, let's start with you. You could step onto the mic. Tyler from St. Cloud, again, right up the road. I mean, talk about your time, first of all, here in Eastern Florida.
It's been a great season. Had great teammates, great coach, great program. Everything's been fun, enjoyed, passed all my classes, and it's been amazing. Thank you guys for this opportunity, Coach, and everybody else that's supported us.
Tell me about Tyler.
He's been a project. He came on board not having a real idea of how good he could be. And my biggest job for him this year was just to get him organized and get him start taking a look at a much bigger picture and thinking about how good could I be as opposed to this is how good I am. He, again, another young man with a lot of upside, just takes a lot of work and a lot of patience and a lot of stick to it. Tyler's going to be just fine. Look forward to having him back next year.
How important is this moment for you in your golfing career coming up here this coming week?
It was definitely a goal to be here and be on this stage with this team. It was a goal that I accomplished, and I plan to live in it, just like every other goal. And that's about it.
What do you expect as far as the competition?
The competition's going to be tough. The course will be tough. It's just going to be fun. I enjoy playing golf. This is what I want to do, and here to do it.
Next up on the mic, the former Timber Creek Wolf, Michael Keemont. Michael, welcome. How has this season been for you guys?
It's been a fun season. Coming off last year's season, not being able to play much in the spring, it's been exciting being able to play the whole fall and spring this year, and just continuously trying to get better and hopefully play my best golf of the season towards nationals this year and bring home a national championship.
Coach, Michael, a key cog being one of the three sophomores and one of those leaders.
As he mentioned, he didn't get to play a whole lot last year, and that didn't stop him from doing all he could to get healthy. Injured his knee last year and went to work on it quickly, got healthy, and grasped the idea he had one shot to compete for a national title. So he's been in the lineup since the first day back in August. He's had a good year. He's come a long way. Again, another one. I'll never get to see his best golf. We'll get a glimpse of it, but there's a lot of good golf in his future.
Michael, talk a little bit about that future. What's ahead for you?
That's a very good question. We're still looking at the field, really talking to a few coaches, talking to a few schools, trying to figure out where I want to go and what offers I have on the table and what my future holds ahead of me.
But the immediate future is Duran. How does that course lay out for you and your team?
We love that golf course. We all talk about how much we love just to go out there and play, and even at practice, it's just a fun round of golf for all of us. We all get along, and we just enjoy playing golf out there. I mean, we like the layout of the course. We all tend to play pretty solid out there, so it's a good feeling going out there for nationals and having that. I feel like it's an advantage for us, more or less, and we just want to serenade it and take home the title with it.
Next up, one of the fabulous freshmen, and Brad Bawden, who comes a long way to play some golf in Florida, coming over from England. How has that changed for you, Brad?
It was a massive change. Obviously, I had to adjust to, one, the weather, two, the grass, completely different to what I'm used to. And being away from my family, obviously that's a big change. But the guys here, everyone, they're like my family now. And it's been nice to be around them, learn from what they've done over the past. It's just been I've just had a great time here.
How was the recruiting trip to England? I'm just curious.
Well, I didn't actually make one, but we have a number of alumni that are over there. And I got a phone call from a gentleman who played for us back in the early 80s and said, hey, I've got somebody I think you should take a good look at. Brad and his father came over for a visit last February, I believe it was. And again, his game, the person he is, it all spoke for himself. And I thought it was a coup for us to land a Brad Bawden rather than let somebody else get him.
Why go out of your comfort zone and come here?
As a sports person, to become better, you've got to go out your comfort zone. You've got to go to new places and play where there's great players. And junior college golf, there is a lot of competition. There's some great players out there. And going ahead to nationals next week, we're playing against the best players in junior college golf. And it's going to be a test, and I'm looking forward to the challenge.
There is certainly a challenge here, but is this a group, and what do you guys have to do? If there's one thing you need to focus on, what is that going to be to help bring home this championship?
We just got to think about what we're trying to do, not worry about what everyone else is doing, stick to our plan, and hopefully that'll help us out in bringing it home.
Coach Howell, we've got these 5 fabulous guys here. They're going to try to win a national championship next week, but they've been pushed all season by some guys who are off camera right now, some of these freshmen coming up. Talk about their contributions.
Contribution is the right word. When we set this up today, I asked a favor of Rob and Sam if we could bring the whole team in, which I'm sure is out of character for this show. But it was important for me for everybody to recognize they're a part of the team, whether they're in the starting lineup, whether they're pushing the guys that are in there. Everybody has to push one another, and I wanted them to see what this is like, to experience what it is to sit with you and be interviewed and have the cameras on. They get it. And I think being here today, it only helps them see what this is about on a bigger picture.
Corey, talk about that team aspect, and it's not just the 5 guys playing, and it's the guys pushing you too.
Yeah, I've never thought of our team as just 5 guys. You can't think of it like that. We've got everybody on our team can contribute and play in any spot on our team. We go out and practice with everybody every day, and everybody pushes each other, and close-knit team's the best way to go, and we definitely have one here.
Not only the 5 guys standing behind me, but there's 4 players off camera right now. Taylor Whalen from Merritt Island, Michael Stewart from Port Charlotte, Nico Gagliardi from Melbourne, and Josh Postlethwaite from Orlando. These are all part of our team.
And if you win a championship here next week, these are the guys they're going to replace. Guys like Corey and Kerry, right?
Yeah, I don't like the word replace, but they're going to step up.
Yeah. And I'll ask this next question of Kerry. I'm just curious who is holding the razor. What kind of razor will it be? Because we've not brought it up since the fall, but there's this bet that national championship gets won next week. That the famed mustache. It's up there with Raleigh Fingers, folks, on the fame that he's got here with this beautiful stash. How are you guys approaching that? Is that something that's even being thought about? Has it been a motivator?
Okay, well, if you ever heard of popping champagne when you win a World Series or something, well, our popping champagne is shaving a mustache. So that's how we kind of want to look at it. But yeah, it's something to relax on and kind of think of as a good, I guess, funny thing, a fun thing to look at as a prize. But it is what it is. We still have to go out and play golf, and as cool it is to shave a mustache, we want to go win a national championship and win a ring. But I don't think I'll be holding the razor as much as I'll be taking the pictures and having the video there.
Okay.
So, but we'll leave it to maybe somebody else on that.
Hopefully you don't have a Sweeney Todd or a Barbara Seville, right?
Yeah,
that's the hope.
That's exactly right. Can't believe you brought that up. Thanks a lot.
But you win a championship, that's a small price to pay. Right?
I hear you. You know what? And I'm willing to do that, but it's not going easy.
Well, whether it's by a number of strokes or if it's just a close shave, we certainly are wishing the best of the Titans. Good luck at Durand. We're going to be pulling for you, and very deserving champions, and we expect it to come to fruition.
We're working on it. Thank you. Appreciate you having us in today.
Jamie Howell and the Titans, everybody. And that will put a bow tie on Inside Titan Sports for the year. So many thank yous, starting with Dr. Ritchie, who had the vision for this, Jeff Carr, Ryan Keel, and of course the guys at Floor Today, Rob Landers and his staff, of course, and Mark Dakotas, who has put in all the hours and basically the executive producer of the show as far as the content. Thank you to everybody involved, and most importantly, thank you to you for watching. So until next season, I'm Jeff Radcliffe saying so long and go Titans.